here is something else that Abby Martin pointed out could be done, which is expelling Israel as a member of the UN, which has happened before. The countries have been expelled before. And Abby Martin pointed this out, that the UN Secretary General writes that 100, or for those of you who are dyslexic, the UN General Secretary writes that 144 members of our UN family have been killed in Gaza. That's what the UN Secretary wrote. 144 members of our UN family have been killed in Gaza, because the UN refuses to say that Israel's doing this killing of their employees, of their people. Instead, they just say have been killed, like it was, it was the what was the monster called in Stranger Things? It was the dude from the Upside Down, from the other side. Anyway, that thing that looked like the Little Shop of Horrors plant. He ate the people and the UN workers, and there's a Little Shop of Horrors plant that just goes around eating all the UN workers. Who knows who killed? They refuse to say the word Israel, is the point. Anyway, so he writes out that he writes that 144 members of the UN have been killed by Israel in 3 months, most ever killed in any conflict. Members of the UN, or members of the UN family, and the Secretary General calls it the largest single loss of life in the history of our organization. And then Abby Martin points out, expel the member state that is mass murdering your employees. Boy, there's a good idea. Get rid of the state that is murdering all your employees. Wow, mind blown. What an idea. What an idea. Expelling the country from the UN that chooses to murder all your employees. That is just a brilliant idea, isn't it? Wow. Good idea, Abby. I can't, you really are the only person who has come up with this. The UN could never come up with stopping Israel from murdering all their employees. And there's a history of this, actually, with an apartheid state. The South Africa. South Africa was expelled in 1976. The UN General Assembly successfully expelled apartheid South Africa, which markedly accelerated them towards full pariah status. So it helped end the apartheid state in South Africa when South Africa was expelled from the UN. Same thing should happen to Israel. You cannot willfully and knowingly commit genocide and be a part of the UN group. And I know many of you may go, well, that's not going to stop them. They don't care. And they might not. But as that's saying, it did harm South Africa's status in the world as a whole.